Hey YouTubers, how's everybody doing? Happy New Year to you. 2nd of January. I had to wake up Little Killer.
You did.
Why did I wake up Little Killer? Because coincidentally, in the last week or so, I've had the same questions asked me a couple of times, maybe 3 times. So I'm going to address those questions. I would rather people not contact us through our website to ask us anything technical about Kubotas. Our website is not for that, and for the most part, they will always be refused or ignored. Because what do I tell you, Kathy?
You answer one question that leads to many more.
But what did I tell you when they do come in?
Oh, you told me never even let you know.
No, I don't want to know about them. Because that's part of our retail business. If you have a problem with a tractor, with your tractor and it's Kubota, you should check with your Kubota dealer. There's only so much we can do. Because if I start answering questions on the web page, then one question leads to another question, leads to another question, leads to another question. And I just don't have the time. So that's my little speech. Anyway, I'm going to address 2 problems. And hopefully it'll help all BX owners out. Come on over. And what it does, first question is, how do you remove the knob from the 3-point hitch speed lowering control knob? How do you remove that? The other question is, how do you remove that? Well, actually, they can be a real beer to remove.
Really? Those knobs?
Yeah, and fellas are taking them, and they're hitting them there, and they're cracking them off. And it's creating quite a problem. But this is going to be 2 technical tips built into the one. Because what happens is, you can come right back to where you were. What happens with anything down here, if you don't use it, you lose it. And I don't mean it falls off, I mean they seize. See how this is nice and movable?
Yeah.
Movable. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't use it, that can seize solid. And a lot of people ask me, how do you free it up?
Must be hard after it's seized.
Well, I'm going to show you a little trick. But first of all, I'm going to show people how to get this knob off. Now you can take a chance, and you can come on in, and you can hit it. Now this knob has never been off, so, and I just took this out of a cold shed where it's minus 10 degrees Celsius. So you're liable to see me destroy a tractor now in a second. But
I'll cry.
well, nah, there's only a knob. What I did is I made up a special tool.
Very nice.
It's a very simple tool to make. Really is. It's about 2 1/4 inches here, and about 1/2 inch in there, and you know what, 3/4 of an inch down. You can use a mini grinder with a zip disc on and cut it and just bend it. And why do I use that? Is because I don't know if you can see it, Kathy, here or maybe over on this other side.
Yeah, where you
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll remove the chainsaw so you can have.
Oh, I can lift it over.
Yeah, it's not a matter of lifting over, it's a matter of seeing it. I never questioned your strength and questioned your visibility. Put it behind the tractor so I'll run it over when I forget about it.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Come on, you got a second one?
Oh, no?
No?
Good.
Okay, so usually what I'll do is I'll put this down here. See how it fits?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'll hold it here. And as you can see, this one has never been off.
Let me take your light. This is dark.
Hang on.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Better.
Yeah. I'm trying to get it off and you're trying to see. Hang on there now, folks. I don't want to hit my fingers. Hang on. I think it's coming a bit there now.
Perfect.
That's how it comes off.
Excellent. That wasn't too bad.
No, so basically, well, you couldn't really get at it, right? I was trying not to put my paws in the way, so,
Yes.
you know, so that's basically how it works, look. So you get in behind it, you pull it, you know this is going to be a lot stronger than this outer edge. And the same thing applies here. You can take that, hit that up. I won't take it off because I don't need taking off.
No.
But it's same principle, right? Yeah. Now, if you have a situation where this is seized, this shaft, now the fun starts. So what you do is you take your WD-40, that shaft is about that long, it goes into a bearing inside the transmission, and you just keep filling that up with WD-40. Just spray it in on the shaft. Then you take your pair of vice grips and you put on the stub of the shaft. Hang on now. Well, let me see. Okay, just like that. Now, when this is seized, you're not going to get any movement in this. So what you do is lightly, after you fill this up with, or spray some WD-40 in there, because you can see right down in the shaft. Once you spray it in there, give it about 10 minutes, and then if you don't feel any movement, you just come up here, lightly tap, just lightly, like that. Then you go back, and then you see if you can wiggle. And once you wiggle, you start to get a bit of play. You see that bit of play? That's how it will look, okay? And that's how it would feel. Once you start getting that little bit of play, you're pretty well winning the battle. You spray a little bit more in, and you go a little bit more. You force it a little tiny bit. Then you put a bit more in. Then you force it a little bit. Then you put a little bit more in, and then the next thing, you free it up. And you do that, and it don't cost you anything other than a little bit of that and a little bit of WD-40.
Excellent.
Now, what other reason would you have to take that knob off, or these knobs off? Yes, folks, sometimes you have to remove the deck to change the HST fan. Okay? In order to get that deck off, you got to get your knobs off. I know it sounds painful, but it's not.
Okay.
As you can see, okay? Because I seen the look on your face there.
Like scared me.
Yeah, well, it scared you. You should try it on a fella that got knobs.
Yeah, a whole different story.
A whole different story then, yeah. Like, the stakes are a little bit higher.
I can see
Okay?
that. A little bit.
A little bit higher. So anyway, when you go to pull the deck off, those knobs have to come off. And that's how you get them off. Now, another little trick that you can do, if you're planning on putting these back on anytime soon, is you can take some of your anti-seize compound or grease, whatever, and
Yeah, you got to get into the compound first.
Yeah. And then you take it, and you can see it slotted on each end, lines up with that split pin.
Okay.
It won't go on that way, but it will go on
So only
this
one
way.
way to go.
Yeah,
Perfect. Give her.
and it's on.
And your knob is back on.
Yeah, so it's basically like that. And you can hold on to it and give it a smack. Hopefully you don't hurt your finger. Hopefully you don't have a camera woman in the way. And you'll get it off, I'm sure. With regards to these being seized, I don't care what you say in your comments. I have never had a situation where I've had to remove any parts off the transmission to free it up that shaft. And I'm telling you folks, I'm going to say I've done 40 of them. So, save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Now, when you get it finally freed up, okay, and it's spinning good in that, go in there with some fluid film in a spray can and spray it with fluid film, and has a maintenance item. Once every couple of weeks, take it and go like that. And you'll never have any problems anymore with it.
That's easy.
So, great little tool, simple to make. and put it in a safe place. Because I'm going to be honest with you, full disclosure here.
Yes, full disclosure.
I had one. It's here somewhere, and I couldn't find it. So in order to make the video, I had to make the tool. So
It's faster to do that.
well, yeah, man, there it is, and it can't be no tizzer, is it?
No.
You know. So you can free up your shaft there. You can also use that to get your knobs off, and which enables you to get the deck off if need be. And for the person that had emailed about his HST fan, there's not enough room to get it off. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but in some situations I've had to let the motor mounts go and pull the motor ahead, maybe only an inch. And that gives you enough room to get the shaft down and also change your fan blade over. Matter of fact, I got an old fan blade there for people who haven't seen them. Oh, I gotta clean this board up. Mm-hmm. This is one of these things that got to be done in the spring.
That's right.
So this is what happens. The fan blades break off. And it's a simple thing, but you need it, you know? And of course, your CV shaft and your drive shaft goes up to this. And it has to come down before this can come off. And there's not enough room for the shaft to collapse, so you have to take the motor and put the motor ahead to drop that down. And it's a royal pain, but you know, we've all had to do it. You can learn some new swear words while you're at it. Now, lifting the motor out is not, you don't lift the motor out. I don't even drain the coolant. I just disconnect the battery, so if you're working around any live wires, you don't short anything out. And you just move your engine ahead just an inch or so. I believe we got a video on how to do it somewhere on YouTube. You know, put down Paul Short HST fan removal or something and you might see it.
Oh yes, that's right, we do.
Because I did it. And another thing that people don't do when they're doing that job is they don't inspect their CV shafts, their joints, peel them back and look in, and I bet you're going to see crud. And matter of fact, most cases I've seen the boots crack as well. So then you replace the boots and all. And that way when you put it all back in, it's all like new.
Sounds like good advice.
That's the tech tip for today, and God only knows when. So this came in my mind, and I said, you know what? It's time to do this video.
That's right.
You had a person ask you about a Kuriakin meter, volt meter.
Yes, that's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, I got them on the motorcycle, and I've just looked down, and guess what I'm looking at?
No way.
Kuriakin meter.
Oh yeah, Seth asked me about that.
Yeah, customer of ours. Mm-hmm. There it is there, look.
Oh yeah.
And that's where I put it. So I basically just drilled a small hole, and there's only two small wires went down there and went right to the fuse panel with it. Really good meters, really good meters. Anything made by Kuriakin. Kuriakin makes a lot of motorcycle accessories. That's technically a motorcycle voltmeter.
Yeah, you suspected you had one on here as well.
Yeah, it would be my choice of things to use. So there's a little bit of information there for you. I hope it helps you all out. Hey, we'll be back again one of those days with another tech tip one. There's lots of them. There's lots of them in my head.
That's right.
It's just that I don't remember all the time. I got a really, really good memory, but it's short, and that's the problem. So, folks, with that, hope you enjoy your BX. This pretty well applies to anything that got a knob on there down there, and I hope it helps you out. So, you guys take care. God bless.